Hi everyone, Fun Size Jessica here again. Here's my video review of the Blue Ridge Marathon, double marathon. Kind of the short and sweet of it, if you kept up with any of my social media posts, is that it didn't go completely to plan, but overall it's one of the best road races I've ever been to. I was just really impressed from start to finish with the people involved, the race management, the social media presence and engagement, kind of just everything was really well done, really high class. And you know, it's not a huge race, but the quality of everything involved just made it feel like a kind of a big deal. And certainly in the city of Roanoke, I think it kind of is a big deal. It's certainly one of the larger events that they have there. So kind of to start, I signed up for the race. I actually don't really remember. Earlier in the year, maybe January, February time. And I signed up for the marathon. I knew I would be pacing the Publix Atlanta Marathon in mid-March. And so my goal at that point, especially considering it was the end of the school year, was just kind of like maintain my base fitness, work on some more hill training between Publix and Blue Ridge kind of the month later. And, you know, I knew it wasn't gonna be a PR. This race has over 4,000 feet of climbing. It's touted as America's toughest road marathon. So no joke, I just was going for kind of slow and steady to the finish. They do have a 7.5 hour cutoff for the marathon, which is really, well, nice and conservative, I think. So I wasn't really worried about finishing. I just wanted to show up healthy, happy, not burnt out. So that plan went really well. And in fact, after Publix, I was feeling so good that and I had started doing some hill training on the treadmill, that when I heard there was a spot opened up for the double marathon challenge, of course, because I'm a glutton for punishment, I messaged them and kind of grabbed that spot really quick. So the double marathon, what it was. Whew, I'll get into a little bit more how that works and kind of about it in a sec. But first, I decided to fly to Roanoke. It's about a 7-hour drive from Atlanta, but I've been having, my car's kind of older, has a lot of miles on it, and I wasn't so sure. So just in terms of time with school, I was able to find an affordable flight direct from Atlanta to Roanoke and figured it would just give me more time. I wouldn't have to spend an entire day driving, sitting, which isn't really ideal before a race. So I flew in on Friday afternoon, got in about 1:30. My friend Elizabeth, also known as Train with Bane, picked me up. Oh no, I met her she was gonna pick me up, she was late. I met her at the hotel. She was my hotel buddy. Sorry, Elizabeth. And she was also running. She got to the hotel and we went right downtown to where the expo is. Roanoke is not a big place, and actually there's plenty of parking garages, and we found street parking very easily. The expo is in a hotel that's directly across the street from Elmwood Park, where the start, finish, and festival stuff is. As well as the pre-race dinner. So like literally everything is in a block radius. It's super accessible. Everything is really easy, really straightforward. So we went to the Patrick Henry Hotel for Expo. You go upstairs, you kind of follow the line around. There's different spots for the 10K, half, full, double. You kind of get your stuff. I have to say, like, the swag is really top notch. So the shirt is really cool. As you see, it's for the double 52.4. The mountain kind of goes into like a mountain goat, which is really neat. It's a really kind of nice polyblend athletic shirt. And so I'm just really impressed with like the copy. The design is really nice. The only thing, and I think this is my fault, I should have tried it on when I was there. It's a women's medium, which is usually the right size. And it runs pretty small. So I think I probably should have had a women's large. I don't know if they would have been able to trade it at that point, but you know, it's fine. It just means I have to, you know, suck it in my gut a little bit. The other cool thing that you got for the double is this mug. Seems to me like this would be pretty good for like wine to go, because it's a steel mug. But you know, all the above. Wine, tequila or coffee, your choice. So that's really nice. And then I had already seen on social that they had I think 10th anniversary ceramic mug that you could buy. You could have added on to your registration. I just waited until the expo, saw it in person, and I just think it's a really pretty mug, and I kind of had to have it, so I bought it. They had a lot of other nice extra swag that you could buy. Again, just the design's really nice, really high quality product. All their hats and headgear was Boko gear, which we've at BibRave have done a lot with Boko, and I have lots of their hats and visors, and they're just awesome. I really love their stuff. So, and again, just really nice product. But I couldn't, I had to keep my dollars to myself. So after the expo, also at the expo, it was kind of in the bar area of the hotel, and you kind of filled out your email and you got a ticket for a drink, which was really nice. So we sat and had a drink, saw some other BibRave pros that showed up, also some BibRave pros who were there to pace, not necessarily there for BibRave. That was cool. There was actually quite a few BibRave associated people there for the races that weekend, which was really fun. It was probably the most BibRave peeps I've seen at a race, which was cool. After that, we went across the street, checked out the start-finish area, and then we headed to the library patio, which is where the pre-race dinner was. I never do pre-race pasta dinners, but it came highly recommended, and Elizabeth wanted to go too, so I signed up, and honestly, it was awesome. Like, I don't think we could have gotten as good of a meal as that anywhere else in the city for the money. I think it was 20 or 25 bucks. And they did have beer, and they had, obviously non-alcoholic beverages, pasta, chicken, really good dessert, salad, rolls, the whole 9 yards, but like really, really good quality stuff. So if you're ever wary of pre-race dinners, I highly recommend it. And then, after that, we kind of just went back to the hotel, and I had probably 3 or 4 hours kind of just to lay down and get my stuff together because I had to be back outside for a 1 a.m. start. Yes, the double marathon involves starting the full course at 1 a.m. and doing one full lap of the marathon course in the middle of the night. There's about 100 people that do it. It's like mostly self-supported. They had 5 or 6 vehicles out on the course with water. They might have had some sports drink, but that was about it. If you decide you want to do this, I would carry extra food. That's one thing. I had food and snacks, but I'm an aid station grazer. I tend to eat more when there is food at the aid stations, and that kind of led to my downfall later, is that I had snacks with me, but I wasn't eating as much as I should because it just wasn't out there. That's probably my one of 2 kind of complaints about the race were for a challenge that, no, I shouldn't do that. It was a challenge. For a challenge that involves that many people, it's not really a rogue situation. Like it was official. Like you have to pay for that. As much as I appreciate they tell you this is self-supported, I think with that many people, representing like 15-20% of the entire marathon field, they should consider having like more official aid stations in the nighttime for that lap, but whatever. Finished that at about 5 hours and 48 minutes, so about 6:48 in the morning, which gave me about 45 minutes between finish and the start of the real race. They had all our bags, like drop bag, at a hotel. So my second kind of complaint, if you will, about the double situation, really the only complaints about the whole race were, I really appreciated having a bag drop, but it was about a half-mile walk. And so I had some time, but there were people that like finished the first lap of the double right before the start of the real race. Like they had no time at all. What would have been nice is if they had like a dedicated tent area in the start finish park, all our bags were there, and maybe a couple of private porta-johns just for the double marathoners. Then you would have just been able to finish, get your stuff, kind of change if you needed to, grab whatever, and like be ready to go and not have to do all that extra walking. So that was, that's my kind of only major complaints, like leading into kind of the full marathon experience. And I will come back to give you the rest of my review.